Why Moodle? You hear a lot about Moodle being used in education, but is it prime for the corporate sector? Why would a corporate organization choose to go with Moodle over other learning management systems? The answer is simple. Moodle gives you the most bang for your buck, especially if you don't have a lot of bucks. A huge factor in my case is that I had a minimal budget to implement e-learning, so I didn't have many options. Although it is cheap when it comes down to it, Moodle met most of the requirements I had listed out and met those requirements at the lowest cost by a long shot. Yeah, there are some pros and cons from the business perspective, but when you weigh the disadvantages versus the advantages, it makes sense to at least take Moodle for a test drive. I spent a lot of time researching LMS systems that added on a lot of expenses for bells and whistles that my organization didn't need. So why pay for it when with Moodle you just need to put in a little hard work? However, Moodle is not all rainbows and unicorns. Although Moodle turned out to be a good fit for my situation, it's not the ideal solution for all organizations. It's important to do your research and testing before making the leap to Moodle or any learning management system for that matter. Here's some steps I took in the LMS selection process and some tips that may help you decide whether Moodle is right for your organization. First of all, write an RFP. Writing a request for proposal, RFP, really helps you to analyze what exactly you need in an LMS. Starting out by describing everything you want to use the LMS for helps to ensure that you take everything into consideration before making a final choice. If you go straight into the research without listing out your requirements, it can be easy to get swept away in LMS features that you may never have use for and end up overpaying for a system that you don't need. You also want to make sure that you don't make the mistake of going with an LMS that doesn't meet your requirements and end up having to go with something else down the line. It's a lot more work to have to change everything over once you've gotten started on something. Second of all, research. Plan on spending a lot of time with Google researching the wide array of LMS options. Don't get stuck in the research phase forever, but make sure to talk to plenty of LMS vendors and take the time to view their demos and talk to other customers of LMS systems. And the third point here is to get your hands dirty. This is the most important step of the LMS selection process. Don't make any decisions or write any checks until you dive in and test out the trial versions of your finalists. This can be a little time consuming, but actually putting together a sample course and testing out administration features tells you a whole lot more about the LMS than any demo or webinar will ever tell you. Many LMS vendors provide trial versions, and in Moodle's case, it's a free download anyway, so you can test out the full version at no risk. And this is how I actually ended up deciding to go with Moodle. I tested it out, I was able to easily get it up and running on my own, and it met most of the requirements I had described in my RFP. I was giving up a few things, but for the price, I couldn't argue. So going through these steps helped me come to the conclusion that Moodle would fit the needs of my organizations at the lowest cost. You may come to the conclusion that you'd be sacrificing too much by going with Moodle, but either way, it's important to do the work involved in selecting LMS before you go too far down the wrong path and waste money. If your organization is anything like mine, you're looking to get the most impact at the least expense, and that is what Moodle can do for you with a little hard work. I hope this presentation helps other corporate instructional designers and e-learning managers make the best decision on the perfect LMS for their organization. This is Joe Deegan with why I chose Moodle from the corporate perspective, and good luck Moodling.